My mommy made me smash my M&M's.
You what?
You fucked that thing up.
I know I did.
You're doomed.
Okay.
Gamer.
Well, welcome to Meet Your Monsters. If you... never mind.
Start
I always try to prepare these shitty jokes.
He's fucking bailed on it.
And I had two for this week, and I started telling the wrong one.
Just
What I was trying to say is, if the queen alien gives you a boner, this might be the podcast for you. Welcome to Meet Your Monsters. Meet Your Monsters is a podcast in which I show my friends horror movies that I love, and we find out if they love them too, or...
That's a joke you bailed on.
I told you. I had to.
try the other one. No,
The other joke was even stupider, so... Anyway, I show my friends horror movies that I love, and we find out if they love them too, or if they just think my movies suck dick. Tonight's movie was Dracula. This was the 1992 Dracula, written by James V. Hart, based on the Francis Ford Coppola novel everyone knows and loves.
the Bram Stoker novel?
Bram Stoker.
What did I say?
Francis Ford Coppola.
Oh, yeah. Directed by Francis Ford Coppola, based on the Stoker novel. It's going to be a rough one.
Let's go ahead.
Jeez.
Introduce everybody.
Did I say my name already?
I don't think so.
Okay. My name is Abram Aiken. This is...
Kathleen.
Colby.
I'm Matt.
This is Sarah.
And our special guest, we are plagued by Kelly's today. Colby's brother.
Derek?
I'm putting on both your houses.
Plague on both your Kellys. Okay. Boy. We're off to a good start here. It's fucking Dracula. Everybody loves Dracula.
Yeah.
How are you guys doing tonight? All good?
Good.
I'm alright.
Good.
I'm alright.
Good.
Doing well.
Anybody have anything
We've been away
exciting?
for a
We're
couple
missing
weeks.
Comic-Con. Is anyone upset by that?
Yeah.
I don't know.
All I've been hearing is stuff about like why it's not good anymore. So
Yeah.
Nerd
I
outrage. They
remember-
turned finally.
I went, what was it, 3 years ago, maybe 4 years ago, and the main thing there, the main theme of Comic-Con was Dexter, and I was like, what the fuck does that have to do with comics?
Mm-hmm.
And the second, like, the other big thing was True Blood, and I was like, I guess that's kind of more like, I guess, vampires and werewolves and all that shit, but, like, Dexter had nothing to do with comics.
I heard Grimes is playing a concert like there. That would have been cool to see.
Who's that?
Grimes, she's a little lady singer.
Oh, lady. Oh,
Little
lady.
lady.
I was hoping you meant Rick Grimes from The Walking Dead.
Please do
I
not stop
wish.
him.
He's just gonna cry in a southern accent.
His really bad southern accent because he's British.
I think that Comic-Con sucks now, and that's
Ooh.
only because I can't get tickets.
Yeah.
Oh.
Yeah,
I don't want to go
really
anyway because it's so terrible.
I'm
It's
sure,
not what it used to be, so I don't even want to go.
I'm sure everyone at Comic-Con is thinking Comic-Con's pretty awesome.
Yeah.
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 This is the
I'm
worst
bitter.
time
I
of
know
my
it has nothing
life.
to do with comics, but it's fucking awesome.
Okay, so on to the sinister synopsis. Okay, so the movie opens with we see young Dracula, the Romanian knight, fighting for what?
I just want to say that lock for lock, this movie had the most beautiful hair I have ever seen
Oh my
on
god.
film.
Yeah, there was
His
a lot
hair.
of
It was fucking gorgeous.
It's like a
Flowing
Pantene
mane.
commercial.
Yeah.
It was.
magnanimous.
His wigs were on point.
Yeah.
So anyway, the hair was great.
It was.
Dracula defends Christendom. What is it called? Christian.
Anity?
Christianity. Yeah. As an atheist, I struggle with that now. Though I was brought up Catholic.
fighting.
Fuck it.
He's fighting.
And we're just
So fights.
Hey, they're fighting shit.
He goes.
It was the year 1462. Constantinople had fallen. Muslim Turks swept into Europe with a vast superior force, striking at Romania, threatening all of Christianland.
That's
Transylvania.
stuff that you know.
Arose Romanian knight from the Order of the
He
Dragon.
recites it nightly.
Is that how he gets
I
you?
could give you the word-by-word play of the fucking movie.
Whoa.
Anyway,
What are you missing out in your brain? Like, what should you know that you don't know? Because that's in there.
social
How
skills.
to, how to pronounce Christianity.
There you go. So
He didn't get a cell phone until he was 30, so
Oh.
there's something not right.
How to do one joke.
Which his wife, he's leaving his wife, and she's extremely codependent. Which I'm not saying like,
Well,
I would
no,
be
they-
super bummed that like if Chris was like leaving, and I might get killed. See you later. She's like,
Okay, so Dracula goes off to war. Obviously, his wife Elizabeta, who I always thought they were saying Elizabater, which I thought was fucking hilarious. She of course,
back in time.
she of course is terribly nervous. Dracula wins, but the Turkish army that he was fighting, someone sent a letter to her saying that he had been killed, so she flings herself off the fucking balcony. And
That's not an appropriate response. Wait till you see the body.
Seems
at
normal
least.
to me.
yeah, I
feel
mean, she
like-
thought he was dead.
Yeah.
That's what, if something happened to Abe. You guys.
What did you say?
She'd step
Can we
right off
still
the
use your
cliff.
house for the podcast?
When Kathleen's late.
Jump off the roof.
That's what you do.
What's that?
When Kathleen's late coming home from work, that's what you do.
Yeah, jump off the balcony. So Dracula comes back, and the asshole priest is like, "Yeah, she fucking killed herself, so she's going to hell."
Which
You
is
know.
not an appropriate time. The first
Yeah,
time
he
sees
could have
her.
given him a few years.
That priest, Anthony Hopkins.
Yeah.
I could tell, yeah. It wasn't,
This was like a second must come from
We'll
a-
get to that.
Yeah.
Hold up.
So Dracula, in his rage, says a great many things against God and stabs this giant cross, renounces God, and is cursed to live forever as the epitome of evil. None of this was really in the book, although
No.
I think the Dracula legend has been around for fucking ever.
He's a real dude.
Yeah.
Count Dracula's a real dude.
Yeah. Which I'm sure will come up later in the trivia and stuff.
Nope.
Well,
So he's a real dude.
based on a real guy. So we next find ourselves with Jonathan Harker, and he's being dispatched to Transylvania to broker a real estate deal for Dracula. The Count is buying up a bunch of property in London.
Did he ever explain why he was doing that?
Well, his predecessor was Aaron Renfield, who was played by Tom Waits.
Mm-hmm.
Dracula was played by Gary Oldman. I forgot to say that earlier. And Renfield went to see Dracula and came back batshit crazy. So
Do you mean why was
I mean,
he
why-
buying up
yeah.
property?
Yeah.
Just
Because
in the
everybody
movie,
in
though, not in the book.
Transylvania is scared of him, and so he can't eat people anymore.
Well,
He changed the scenery, a couple hundred years.
Yeah.
yeah, he was trying to fit into the new world. He was trying
By
to.
buying everything.
Yeah. I suspect that he bought up all that property because there were like 10 spots around London. I think he was buying it all up, so he had numerous places he could hide.
I was just waiting
Yeah,
for
in
them
the
to
book
connect
it-
all the dots, and it'd be like a pentagram or something. You know how
Like
they
an
do.
above shot.
Keanu Reeves drops in his coffee mode.
Which Keanu was. He's never been known to be a great actor, I don't think, but his accent is atrocious.
I've
I
gotta
wrote
say-
down Keanu's accent balls.
I've got to say Gary Oldman's acting levels counterbalanced both Keanu
Oh,
Reeves
yeah.
and Winona Ryder.
Don't you say bad shit about Winona.
Yeah.
She's a beautiful woman, but she was better than Keanu, but I'm just like, oh,
So he goes to Transylvania. Jesus Christ. Okay, he goes to Transylvania to broker this real estate deal. Dracula pretty much fucks him over by making him write letters to his friends and family saying that he's very happy and he wants to stay for a month. He claims it's to have him tutor him in English customs. What he really is he's kidnapping him. He has no plans to ever let him leave.
Here's
Yeah.
something that I thought of when I was a kid when I first saw this movie, and Derek, can relate with me on this one. Our dad used to tell us that you get hairy palms if you jacked it a lot. And, like when I saw it as a kid, I was like, God damn, he must be jacking it constantly.
It's all the way up to his wrist. Oh my God.
Which he was, right? He's all alone in that fucking castle.
Yeah.
Just kind of like, jacking it.
It's echoing. Well, he's got those 3 ladies.
Well, I mean, he probably couldn't do it with the one that was the 2 ladies attached at the
Yeah,
hips.
what the hell is up with
I think
that?
he did that to them. Okay, so there's a scene where later we'll get to Keanu, who is Jonathan Harker, is essentially being raped by these 3 sexy vampire chicks, and Dracula shows up and he doesn't want them munching Keanu,
Yeah,
so
right
he
now.
flings them
They bite him
around
on the
and
weenie too,
merges
right?
them together. It looked like they bit.
That was the
his
other thing
leg.
that blew my mind as a kid. I was like, they just bite his fucking dick and then eat a baby? What the fuck is going on?
I remember reading Dance Macabre from Stephen King, and he's describing Dracula, and he talks about a scene where Harker was orally raped, and every time I see that scene, I go, he was orally raped. So yeah, he definitely, they bit his wang. So, yeah, so who knows why they were stuck together. I thought Dracula
Well, it was,
did it.
but then later they weren't. So he was
I'm
just
sure it
I
was just
thought
to
they were
make him
just
look
doing
all
some-
freaky.
I
Yeah.
thought they were just
Freaky
doing some sexy
sex
contortion
Yeah.
to turn Keanu on.
She was riding her.
Yeah, that's
Like a
really
horse.
what it was.
Yeepers.
So Harker is now screwed because he's written letters to everyone saying he's all is well. Meanwhile, Dracula's got him locked up, and these girls are kind of draining him and keeping him.
Yeah. Well, and that part when he surprised him when he was shaving, what a dick Dracula is. He knows he couldn't see him behind him. He knew he was shaving. Like, what did he knew he was going to surprise him. He knew he was going to nick
He went
himself.
to lick his
He
neck
don't
all
give a
creepy.
fuck about him though.
Yeah.
I mean, if he could cut his fucking head off, he doesn't give a shit.
But he wanted to be alive for a little bit.
Whatever.
You gotta get your kicks somewhere. He's been alone forever. He's like, hey,
Yeah.
watch
I've
this.
been thinking up these pranks for eons.
That's you see, like, his shadows moving behind him. His shadows just dying, laughing like, I got you good, you fucker.
So, what the hell were we talking about? So,
Dracula.
so Dracula.
You're talking about the sexy vampire ladies.
Yes, there were some sexy vampire chicks. So Dracula hauls ass to London, and he.
Wait, there's another thing about that scene.
What?
Like, they had a room specially for seduction, right? With, like, silk sheets and lace and all that shit. Couldn't they have cleaned the fucking cobwebs out of the corner?
Well,
how unsexy is that?
I think the
They don't even know
idea.
anymore what's sexy. They don't even,
I think the idea too, because if you notice, it was his fiance Mina Murray, her voice that drew him into that place, and then so it might have been sexy at one time. But it looked like it hadn't been. They hadn't been seducing anybody in a very
they
long
don't
time.
clean.
Yeah, I'll do it.
They should.
Yeah.
Get off their
What
lazy
I
asses.
loved- what
They've
I
had
loved-
400 years to clean.
What are they doing all day?
What I loved about that scene too was he's finding all these strange things in the castle. Like he opens up that bottle and it's dripping upward,
Oh yeah, that
and
was
the rats are running across the top of the ceiling, and you see Dracula scurrying down the walls, and it's just bizarre. You know, whatever's going on in that castle, it is.
gravity.
Doesn't make
right?
sense.
Yeah, it's crazy.
It still takes Keanu quite a while to be like,
The first scene when
Something's
he's
wrong
like,
in the state of
"What'd you say?" He
Transylvania.
pulls
Yeah.
the knife out or the sword off the wall. He's like, "Don't talk about my Turks that way or whatever." I'm just like,
Yeah.
fuck you,
Like,
not
well, I'm gonna
leaving.
leave.
Yeah,
I'll see
I
these
gotta go.
papers here.
But what I don't get is why the first dude went crazy and he just like sent him back. Like, why did he just send that dude back instead of like keeping him there and eating him? Was that ever explained?
I think that he wanted him as his man in London. Once
try to
he
put-
got there, because you remember he called him Master. Renfield
That's
was,
right.
and
Oh,
so
yeah, I guess so.
so essentially he had plans for him once he got established in London. Of course, it didn't.
It
Come
didn't
out.
work out
Yeah.
because he was batshit.
Yeah. But he was batshit in Dracula's favor, so he was right where he wanted him.
Yeah.
He just didn't get to that point to where he could use him. Thanks to the intervention of our fine group of vampire hunters.
Our mustachioed
Yeah. Okay, so Dracula takes off to London, leaving Harker to be sucked alive back at the castle. And now, what wasn't really in the book but is in the movie was that Dracula had the wife, of course, who killed herself, and then it looks just like Jonathan Harker's Mina Murray.
Yeah.
Reincarnation.
Yeah, and so of course all of his plans seem to change to like must bang Mina.
Yeah.
Oh, no.
They took
And-
some creative liberties with this movie.
They did.
Yeah, they took
Love
it to a
dies.
different place.
In the book, he went from just like feeding on Lucy to like fucking her as a werewolf.
Yeah.
That was
That
a
was
weird
bizarre.
scene. That was an interesting scene.
The thing with
I don't
the
remember
people looking the same, like I don't get that. Like, so there's like, I mean, my assumption would be that they're supposed to be like the descendants.
She's an
Of those
reincarnation
people, yeah,
because she
like-
has some of the memories too.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's right.
Yeah.
But none of that was in the book, but
No.
it was I think
Well,
they're
and I
trying to
got the
sexy it up.
impression that in the book he was turned to a bat and like a wolf to blend in so nobody could see him. In this one, he was like a man
I
bat, looked like he was made out of foreskin, and like a werewolf. I was like, well, clearly it'd be like that was a fucking werewolf.
Holy
He's
feel
probably
like-
Dracula.
I feel like all the justification for that is to be like, it fucking looked cool.
It did look
When he's a werewolf banging that chick, I was thinking, that is fucking awesome.
Really?
I thought so. I love that shit. And then like later he's
It was crazy looking.
yeah.
Yeah, it was very memorable looking. Like when he's in the, is he in the Demeter and he's like, and you can see like his little weird bat face. That was pretty cool.
Yeah. The
And he would
Demeter
kind
is
of
a
flip
ship.
back from young to old for no apparent reason, and then like ugly to
He had his
handsome.
reasons.
When he was
It's
sad,
just like
he
picking
got
your
old.
outfit. For
Yeah,
cried himself old.
How's
You
that
want to be all
fit you?
creepy?
Yeah.
Long earlobe? No, not today. But that was a cool scene too in the book. More so the ship that brings him to
London.
London. There's nobody on it except for who's the guy that does the wheel?
All the
Captain?
crew is
The
dead.
captain. The captain has lashed himself to the wheel and he's dead. And then there's a wolf on there.
Yeah, a wolf jumps
And
out.
yeah, the wolf jumps out, runs away, and
And it was cool because like it just keeps waiting, like right outside the harbor. The ship does, and then it finally comes in,
yeah.
like when the heat has died down.
So he killed. I mean, it's really they're supposed to. There's been rumors for years about making a Voyage of the Demeter movie, about like what happened on the ship, and that I think that'd be amazing.
It's on IMDb as in production.
Is it?
So
Because
we'll see if it ever
it's been in
comes
production
out.
for like years. That'd be
Yeah.
awesome, though. That'd be
Yeah,
really cool.
I keep my eye on it because I want to see that story.
Because
too.
that would be really fun. Just you're on there and all your friends keep disappearing, and there's
Yeah.
something on the ship and you don't know what. You just know there's a bunch of boxes of dirt.
I picture it like Alien, because they're on the ship, they can't go anywhere. Creatures on the ship, and something.
Well, yeah, what are you gonna do? Jump off
The only problem with that movie that I see is everyone fucking knows how it ends.
yeah, but, you know,
Makes it to England.
that's a challenge.
But if you guys saw the remake to The Thing, everyone knows exactly how that was ending, and they still found a way
Still
to
pretty good.
twist it up. So
Yeah, they did an amazing job with that one.
yeah, that was a great one. Okay, so Dracula gets to London and turns himself young and
Channel's like a beetle. What are those glasses? Seriously? Oh, you look ridiculous.
Apparently, like his charm was he made chicks want to pull their boobs out.
yeah.
So anytime he's around, they
But
like
think about it. If
pulled
you
their
could
boobs
do
out.
magic, tell me you wouldn't be doing
Oh,
that.
that's exactly what
Yeah,
I would
it
do.
makes perfect sense.
My boob count would be through the roof.
Yeah.
in a
It's
daily
a
life.
bunch of rapey warlocks.
It'd be for everybody. Like, all right, fine, I'll check out this chick's boobs. Too. Yeah, okay.
Like $40 on pump 2 and
Yeah.
open your shirt up.
There was like a previous
Alright.
podcast where you said you liked any kind of boob, like old boob,
Yeah.
gross
Oh,
boob.
no.
I'll
Yeah,
take it. Not picky.
No.
Alien boob.
alien boob.
Still is hot. I'm telling you. Okay, so Dracula is seducing Mina while at the same time slowly murdering her best friend Lucy.
What was that
Played
movie
by
theater
Sadie
they were
Frost.
at? Like was it like a dirty movie theater? There was a
think it
lot
was
of
like
It was
a-
the
I thought that was a
Was it-
museum.
yeah.
It
Yeah,
was
but there was like people like
it was
on the screen,
see
like,
the
there's
amazing cinematograph.
yeah.
Yeah, I think it was just a
boobs
whole
in
bunch
the
of like
TV.
Pictures.
Well, if you finally figure out how to take a bunch of pictures and play them real fast
What's
into
the
a
first
movie,
thing that Colby and Abe are gonna do? They're
Yeah.
gonna put boobs
you
on.
gotta get some porno. Tale as old as time, right?
Yeah.
That's actually almost exactly what happened.
Yeah.
They came out pretty fast after the
They're
first
like,
footage was filmed.
oh my god, we can make movies. We can make movies
Oh
of
my
naked
God.
girls. Yeah.
Such an age.
But that's
we're
true,
gonna
right?
do naked
Yeah,
girls,
sorry,
right?
yeah.
Yeah, of course.
Yeah. Matt here being the only one of us that went to film school.
And very.
I'm wearing a beret.
collects
by
a
the
lot
way.
of pornography.
all black.
Tell us about
The
Prague.
same shades as
What can I say?
Dracula.
Yeah. Okay, so Now, Lucy is Mina's best friend. Lucy played by Sadie Frost and Mina played by Winona Ryder. And they are best friends.
Make out
Mina,
buddies, too.
they make out from time to
Apparently.
time
Kind of
in the rain.
I'm just like, me and Sarah just don't have that kind of friendship.
Yeah. That time in my life is past.
That's what girls do all the time. We all know it.
That's
Yeah.
Little fights and make out
One
parties.
You're not
rain
gonna, like-
storm and they fucking lose it.
Kelly, you're not even like rich enough for me to make out with you.
Aw, I have pillowy lips.
That's true.
Okay, so
Wait for the dude's first big rainstorm. I'll come knocking.
So they, Mina is staying with Lucy while Jonathan is away, which I don't think it really matters to say that Jonathan is uncomfortable by this because Lucy is very rich and Jonathan is very poor. He feels like Mina will be spoiled and not appreciate his...
Which I'm surprised that he's poor, because like if they were sending my ass to Transylvania, but like you're gonna pay me some
What's the
big
No, because
bucks.
he was just honored to have.
Well,
her
but
for
he
the
mentioned that because he was finally making enough money that he felt like he could marry her. So they talked about that.
What an excuse! Like, oh, baby, I just don't make enough money. Sorry.
But he's not getting any, so it's not
Yeah,
like
it's
he's...
Yeah, what is he?
Yeah.
I mean, she's looking at the books. She's thinking about it, like the dirty pictures.
I know.
And I'm going
Doggy.
to talk about that later because I have a serious issue with that
Arabian
scene.
Nights. Gotta check that one out.
issue?
So,
It's like Aladdin.
There's a better time than now to talk about your serious issue. Lay it on the
Okay,
lay it on
okay.
the line here, Abe.
so there's a scene where Lucy finds Mina and she's got a copy of Arabian Nights with a bunch of crazy Kama Sutra-like sex positions. And
Wait, they were really crazy.
they weren't crazy
But
at
for the
all.
time,
They was
probably.
just...
Regular.
She's like, what? I don't even
Yeah.
understand what that is. I'm like,
Yeah.
Really? You don't
how
understand
do you
people
know?
bending over?
Yeah, it was really just a wiener going into a vagina, and she's like, "What is it, Lucy? I don't understand." And I'm like,
with no pubic hair.
she
They
said
were
she's
not
It
almost,
was hot. In
It's hot in
wherever Arabian
Arabia.
Night, yeah.
but she said she's almost 20. I'm like, how the fuck can you, as a human
They
being,
were
not
sheltered.
know? Yeah, and obviously times were different back then. But Jesus Christ, you're almost 20. You don't know what a wiener is
I don't
for?
understand.
So that's what that hole is.
Yeah, so I thought that was strange, and that certainly wasn't in the book.
No.
I assumed
Well, and they really slutted up Lucy and slut.
they slutted up everybody.
By true, I was like, oh, Lucy was just
Everybody
like.
was a fucking creep in this movie.
Yeah.
I hated everybody. I was like, everybody seemed like a fucking rapist in this movie.
Yes,
Yeah.
they all did.
And in the book, you really were rooting for them
They
because
were
they were
great
so
guys,
nice.
yeah.
Yeah.
So
Like they went all out to try to save Lucy. Everybody
Yeah.
did.
That's what I missed from the book in the movie is that like they didn't take time developing relationships between any of them.
yeah.
So you're just
Yeah.
like, why are they all hanging out? Like they
I
were trying
wasn't-
to get the same girl,
Yeah, right.
one, but
I
still they're
felt
friends.
like
You know?
by the time they got to Dracula, I'm like, I'm not rooting for any of these fucks. Like I don't care if they get
Oh,
Dracula.
Well, so Lucy gets 3 marriage proposals all at the same time because she is banging. But okay,
she
so
was just okay looking in this movie.
all right, whatever.
Well, for back then.
For 1995,
She had all of her
this
teeth.
movie.
Yeah.
She showed her tits like 50 times. So
That's true.
So she had the 3 marriage proposals. Dr.
That's
Seward.
not why though.
Yeah, because she was
That's
sleeping
exactly
everybody.
why.
One was Dr. Seward. One was
Texan.
Quincy
Quincy
Morris and Arthur Homewood. Anyway, they all want to marry Lucy. She picks Arthur because he's the richest, I assume. Because
Because she's going to be a lady.
Yeah. Lord and Lady. Yeah.
Well, is it Quincy Morris rich too? And
I feel
Dr.
like,
Seward.
I feel like they were all pretty well.
Yeah, and Dr. Seward. She even
Dr.
said like
Seward,
he
no.
ran his own.
Dr. Seward had
Was
a
it
morphine
insane
habit.
asylum? Awesome. Yeah, he did. What the heck was up with that? Random, like...
That's what I mean. They just turned
development.
everybody into a bunch of twats in this movie. They're just like, fuck this guy.
Well, wasn't it like, weren't all the inmates freaking out too? It's like, oh, this is a great time to be like, not have my wits about me. Let's inject myself with some morphine.
Yeah.
That's the time you
Escaping.
We
need
didn't even
it.
put a cage on his head.
Yeah, he was
Inject
completely
himself.
unprotected.
But the point is here that
Well, we digress.
Lucy has 3 people that really care for her, 3 strapping young men, and a best friend, Mina, and she has been assaulted by this vampire and is slowly dying and changing into a vampire. Dr. Seward, at a loss, doesn't know what to do, so he sends for Abraham Van Helsing, who
Who, fun fact, Abe was named after. Right?
Yes.
Yes, but except for Abram.
Except for a different name.
Yeah.
Yeah, I was in fact
Details.
named for the vampire hunter. And yeah, so he shows up and says, "It's a fucking vampire. You guys stupid?"
Yeah.
And they try to figure out what's going on.
It shows his true colors as a dirty old man.
It's true.
Yeah, he says your precious Lucy could be a bitch of the devil and
Yeah.
the devil's concubine.
I'm gonna try flicking her nipples. See what I can say.
He's kind of a dick.
Blow on him.
Dude, well, the other thing is, like, he showed up, and I think I remember from the book, she was having a really hard time sleeping because of all her nightmares, and he gave her, like, a sedative. Seward did. And he gave it to this one, and then was like, I'm gonna fucking make out with her while she's under, like, this sedation. I was like, God, fuck this guy.
yeah.
Fuck that guy. I hope you all get killed.
They were really not the greatest of people.
No.
Although I don't remember Arthur ever doing anything creepy.
He just had that look about him.
He had the
He
little.
was-
That was
He was a
Gary
dick.
Oldman?
Yeah.
Yeah, the first time he walks in on Lucy, like, having one of her, like, sexy fits where she can't breathe, he has, like, a creepy smile on his face the whole time.
Yeah.
Like,
What's going
not like
on
a
here?
concerned smile, just
Yeah.
like a...
Well, then, like,
Great.
they're trying to help her, and her tits flop out, and he's not even like, guys, don't look at her tits. Like, that's my fiance, or like tries to come up. He's like, all right, see
Well,
my
that
blood.
wasn't
I'm like,
anything
They were trying to save her life.
Trying to save her
It's-
life.
I'd have been
It
like,
was-
okay, here, stick this thing in me. I'll fucking punch you for looking at my fiance's boob.
Okay, so Lucy ends up dying a horrible death.
Ooh, spoiler alert.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
Spoilers ahead.
This movie the book was written in what 16 something?
No,
1897.
1897, I think it
Still,
was.
there's some time.
So anyway, Lucy
Dracula's
dies a
public
horrible death.
domain now.
Yeah.
So get your ass in gear.
Yeah. So anyone can do anything they want with Dracula, sexually.
Dracula, a porn parody.
I'm starting my Dracula
Yeah.
fan fiction right now. Dracula, it's the My
There's a
Little
porno
has sex with
called
My Little
Gay-racula.
Ponies.
You're Dracula.
So they all kind of unite under the instruction of Van Helsing. They're going to find this evil creature that they know has killed her, and they start off by going to see Lucy in her crypt after they know she's dead. And what they find there is that she's not in her coffin at all, and comes walking down the stairs holding a small child she's about to munch. They save the kid, and they
She just cold stone drops her.
yeah.
Like, you haven't done that on accident.
I will say none of this on,
Once-
on the record.
Once I get distracted, I'm not interested in the kid anymore. I just drop him.
Yeah. Okay, so they stake Lucy through the heart and chop her head off. Right about this time, Mina is getting very cozy with the Count.
What a bitch.
No, she's betrothed.
They're going out to dinner a lot, and he tells her romantic things about Romania, and she shares her memories that clearly are from her reincarnation, her other life, and they are somewhat soulmates.
She cries diamonds.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's what I said. You know what was
It's a
bullshit about
rabbit.
that too? I saw him cry like 12 times leading up to that scene. Wouldn't every time be like, fucking diamonds, 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 diamonds.
He's a
guys
Well,
get
in
it?
the book, he has a room full of gold already, so...
I don't get it.
Dude, what you
Tell
want?
me.
When you deny your tear diamonds because you're like, oh, I got enough gold. I'll just cry.
It's
Like,
obvious.
now I don't need Jonathan or the Count.
Haven't any of you guys read The Mystery Method? He was picking up chicks with magic.
Oh.
I was about to say, he was
Is
like...
that?
He's
The pick of
he
hearts.
spent the last bit of his money like
Diamond.
Does that
Diamond.
work? Yeah, well, it did with
Yeah,
her.
chicks love magic.
Yeah, sure.
Hell, he practically raped her the scene before, and she couldn't even remember.
Well, there you go.
Fuck it up, throw some diamonds out or whatever. So anyway, Jonathan Harker escapes by sliding sideways
It's
off
the
the
weirdest.
castle.
One of
It
the
was weird.
worst effects in the movie.
It was strange because it.
Well, that was the gravity's all weird.
Yeah,
Yeah.
there was something crazy.
No,
but
I understand this is like magical mysticism, vampire shit. There's a lot of shit that didn't make any fucking sense in this movie.
I think that they had a lot to cover, and maybe they weren't as organized. I mean, God, look at the other Coppola movies, they were not exactly known for going smoothly.
No.
Well, I was gonna say, you were saying like Coppola's nuts.
He seems like a lunatic that everybody thought was artistic.
Yeah, so I mean, again, going back to like the vampire chick, I'm sure he was just there was no real reason for that. He was just like, you know, what'll look cool, like two vampire chicks attached together.
Yeah.
Riding each other like horses.
What'll look cool? This dude sliding all sideways, rats coming from the ceiling, stuff dripping
And
upwards.
it
Like,
did.
It very well could have been just, it looks cool.
I'm sure he
Fucking
was
looks
just nuts,
cool.
and he was like,
I
"This'll look
heard that
Yeah.
like he went to, when they made Apocalypse Now, he like disappeared in the jungle for like 3 years while making that, like writing the movie, and then threatened to kill himself like 100 times over the budget. Like he's like, give me the budget, or I'll just blow my head off.
cool." Yeah, he's a tad nutty.
Fucking lunatic. Is he still alive? I don't think he's alive anymore.
I
Is
think
he?
so.
Oh,
I don't know.
Yeah.
I hope he doesn't hear that.
You just did that.
Edit
Yeah.
that out,
It's
man.
not true.
There goes our big dream.
Allegedly.
Stardom.
Nicolas Cage will come kick our asses. What'd you say about my uncle?
Oh, yeah.
Jason Schwartzman.
So anyway, Harker escapes and makes it to some sort of sanctuary, look like a church, and he sends a letter to Mina saying, "Come and marry me in this strange place."
Come to Romania. Oh,
Yeah.
awesome.
And she does, and the Count is very sad. And you know, a lot of people have an ugly cry face. Count Dracula has the ugliest of
It's
cry
worse
faces.
than Kim Kardashian.
That was funny too. Is it looked like a shithole when Keanu Reeves first went there, Harker first went there, and she's describing it as this amazing,
That
beautiful
was
place.
I mean, Transylvania's a butthole, yeah.
Well, but I imagine in
It was like the emotions. I think is more what she's feeling.
But think about it though. This is the castle of the most horrible person ever. I'm sure it's creepy. If you go outside, it's probably real pretty, right?
Probably, if you
All
don't like the
mountains
dark.
and the,
Maybe.
you know. I've never been to Romania. I bet it's a lovely place.
I'm gonna Google
Random
search.
circles of
Anybody
fire.
listening in Romania? I'm sure there's probably people out
Yeah,
there.
there was
I mean,
half our fan base.
Our
obviously.
trees are beautiful.
We just
We're big
just
overseas.
lost
Look.
10 fans in
Look at
Romania.
this bus bench. Beautiful.
Is that what they sound like?
All these rocks.
You put them together, you make shapes, you got hearts, you got angels, you got whatever you want. It's beautiful.
You're doing an Italian accent.
Well,
Gabagool.
the actors in the movie
You're like-
couldn't decide what accent they wanted to use.
Oh, true, true.
I think a segment we should do for this movie, everybody does their Keanu Reeves impression.
Whoa.
Okay, let me get through
I'm
this.
gonna do
fucking-
the Ball restaurant.
I'd like to move on.
It's not about what you want.
Well,
right?
and see, that's another problem I had with this movie. They needed to wrap this fucking thing up. They
Man,
just
at the
went
end,
on
I was
and
dying.
on
Like,
and on.
where are they?
Jesus.
Wrap it the fuck up.
I don't think this is going my way.
It never does, my girl.
Okay, so anyway, Mina and Jonathan get married. Dracula is fucking bummed.
Oh, man.
They go back to London and they join up with Van Helsing and his little henchman there. Now this was the part I believe in the book where Mina took all of their journal entries and comprised them into one book, so they all had a clear story of
She
what
was
was
like-
happening.
She was like Batman, man.
Yeah, and that was cool. And
Crazy detective skills.
and they kind of follow that same narrative with this, where they would start a lot of these little sequences with journal entries and things like that. There was a lot of voiceover, and I thought that was a nice attempt at that, you know,
Yeah,
accomplishing
totally.
that a similar narrative.
We'll get around to that.
Yeah.
I have some issues.
You always have issues. Okay, so
Should let Matt pick the movie one week.
they decide their next goal or their next plan is to go and destroy all of his boxes. Dracula has these boxes full of dirt from his home country that he has to sleep in order to keep himself healthy and spry and powerful.
Keep those locks luscious.
Keep that hair flowing. And so they...
Ladies, that's the trick. Transylvanian dirt.
That's right. Laying in the mud. So they go around and they're smashing all of his boxes and sanctifying them with holy water and praying and that sort of thing, and just busting up his shit all over town. He does the most awesome pimp move ever and is like, okay, well, while you trash my house, I'm gonna fuck your girlfriend. and he floats up into, they've got Mina holed up in Seward's office, and Dracula
Sounds
goes
like
up
you're
there.
saying C word. Like
That cuts
the C word's office.
Oh, yeah. Dr.
I'll
Seward.
please when I'm ready.
I'll articulate a bit more. Dr. Seward. And so Dracula goes up there and he tells Mina who he is, and though she's very upset about him murdering her best friend, she still loves
And
him.
it kind of turns me out that you killed her.
That's the other thing. It seems like Francis Ford Coppola just hates women because they were all just fucking idiots in this movie.
They're all
But the
free
thing
slutty.
about, like, back then, too, I think he played it up a lot, but any entertainment from this era, it was like, oh god, you get to go lay down because, like, you saw a bug. Like, oh, where's my fainting killer?
Yeah, I feel faint like
got
6
the
times a
vapors.
day.
Yeah, right. Can I just go lay down? Hysteria, they'd give them morphine if they, like, had period cramps. Like, oh god.
Sounds like women had it easy. Like, that sounds awesome.
Sounds
Like, I've got
awesome.
period cramps too. Shoot me up.
But then, if vampires come and rape you, it's like,
As werewolves.
You were
You only
wearing
had
that-
one job back then.
Which, okay, wasn't she supposed
take
to
the
be a
good with the
virgin
bad.
at that point, and she just got ravaged by a fucking werewolf? Wouldn't she be like limping back to her bed? Like, holy
Nope.
shit!
Turns out it's a myth about the size of a werewolf.
He's like little nubbies rubbing on her thighs.
Well, they didn't want.
It's like a pink lipstick dog. Dog wiener.
Red Rocket.
They didn't want to be vulgar.
That was their main concern this whole time.
Yeah.
Okay, so back to Dracula here. Okay,
I'm talking about Dracula.
so Dracula turns Mina into a vampire by cutting himself. She drinks his blood. The
He
guys.
tried not to.
Well, her mouth was already bloody though when he stopped her.
It was one of those like,
Well, maybe we shouldn't.
yeah.
Bitch, I already did.
I don't have protection, but I'll pull out. That's
Exactly what it was.
Just the tip.
We all are that one, haven't we?
Just the tip of vampirism.
So, okay, so Dracula, he's doing his thing with Mina, and the guys bust in and they essentially scare him off, and he turns into some rats and runs away, and they find out he's got on a ship heading back to Romania because they destroyed all his places, and so they follow him. This big pursuit goes on for a while as they're trying to find what ship he's on, and then eventually they're chasing him through the Carpathian Mountains, where they catch him and kill him.
Yeah, that's the sum of it.
And then how they, as Mina is turning more and more into a vampire, she's kind of helping him because he's reading her mind and giving away the maneuvers of the guy she's with, and so they use her as sort of a decoy, and they have Van Helsing take her sort of a roundabout way to the castle, and they cut him off and eventually catch him. So after they Dracula is stabbed and his throat's cut, and they let
And after
Mina.
Van Helsing lit Snow on fire.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah. Oh.
Yeah.
And like rubbed his face and Mina's tits and
Whoa, yeah.
God damn, this movie is
So rapey.
so creepy.
It was
This
very
whole
rapey.
movie was.
Okay, so yeah, they let Mina take him into the castle, and she ultimately finishes him off,
Finish her.
stabs him through the heart the rest of the way, cuts his head off. He seems to be forgiven by God as he's turned back into the beautiful
But
man.
why?
And
I think he
she,
paid his price.
yeah,
30 years of being miserable.
yeah, and he got his true love back and that sort of thing. Like I said, none of this was in the
I
book.
mean,
It
isn't
was
the whole
just-
thing about being Christian is you just gotta say you're sorry? And
only
then you're good to
thing-
go again?
The only thing
Yeah.
they said in the book is as he's dying, they said that he had a look of peace on his face as he died.
Oh,
Yeah.
like, Kiefer Sutherland.
Lost Boys. Yeah. And
Bring
that.
that full circle, Sarah.
Yeah.
That's
Gary
your new
Oldman?
segment.
Or something like that?
Sarah's full circle.
How can it make
Best friends,
Mm-hmm.
And that was
That's
the
pretty
end
nice.
Kiefer
of the
Sutherland
movie.
and Gary Oldman.
They're best friends?
When Gary Oldman got pulled over for his DUI, Kiefer Sutherland was his passenger in the car.
Does that mean you're best friends?
Uh-huh.
I have a lot of
Wait, who did this?
Yeah.
I'm just kidding.
When Gary Oldman got pulled over for DUI, Kiefer Sutherland
when did that
was in his
happen?
car.
Recently?
I don't know, like probably in the 90s.
It's in my trivia. Don't spit.
Nope, that one was just up here.
That was a freebie.
Okay, so
Oh, I pointed at my head. I forgot they can't see.
okay, for the love of God, let me finish this up. Okay, so I first saw this movie in '92 when I was 12. My dad rented it, and him and my mom left, and I watched it, and I fucking love this movie. I've seen it probably 1,000 times. I got the book. I got the books on the movie. I bought the soundtrack. I used to draw Dracula in my sketchbook all the time. What did you guys think?
I liked it. I like the look of it. I didn't like how long it was.
I didn't like how long it was. I didn't like how it didn't make any goddamn sense. I didn't like that I hated everybody in it. It's like I kind of hope you all die.
I liked it. I feel like the stuff you hate, though, I found it like oddly endearing. I'm like, Keanu, Winona, you're so bad, but it works because it was like the 90s.
They're bad together.
I like.
Oh, sorry.
Oh, I just like all the vampire stuff lately. I'm just kind of sick of the whole like vampire suffering thing. So I mean, this movie obviously was made way before any of the rest of them. But I'm just like with like the True Blood and all that shenanigans these days. Like I'm just tired of it. Like, you know, if you don't want to be a vampire, like walk out in the sun. Just put a stake through your heart. Like quit crying about it all the time.
You can literally walk it off.
Just stop being a vampire. Like, all right, 300 years is enough. Stake in the heart.
I remember seeing this at a slumber party and being very, very scared. And now watching it again, it's way more, I don't know if corny is the right word, but like campy and just like the shots. And Gary Oldman's acting was just perfect. He knew exactly what he was doing, what kind of movie he was in. He was just ridiculous.
I think Anthony Hopkins too. Like, he just,
totally.
Yeah, Anthony Hopkins is
did his
great.
own thing.
Yeah.
He was like, probably my favorite in this movie.
Now, I definitely agree with Colby in the sense that all of the characters kind of betrayed themselves in the sense that Harker cheated on his wife, Mina cheated on him, all of the doctors were creepy and rapey.
Yeah, and it really seemed like everybody was serving their own purpose.
Yeah, as for in the book, they were really good people.
Really nice.
And I think that that's kind of how... And even...
well, in the book, remember, as he was killing his vampire... bitches, Van Helsing was crying. Like, he was sad that he had to kill these people. Yeah,
and they definitely were a much more moral bunch in the book. Yeah. And I kind of missed that, you know, but I was 12 when I saw this movie,
sexy.
So I was just excited that there was blood and boobs and creepy stuff.
There was a lot of that.
And, yeah, I enjoyed it quite a bit.
Yeah. I like Tom Waits' music.
Right on.
Do you?
Yeah.
It's good.
Okay.
I enjoy
different.
it for what it is, but it's very different. Hey, Jack, remember when you gave me all those Tom Waits albums? I like to talk to Jack every show.
But I think that's the first. It's the first time I didn't like the movie we watched.
Yeah.
Really?
But I
First
wonder if you would have liked it had you not just read the book.
Maybe. I don't know. I tried really hard to have an objective stance on it, but really I was just like, these people suck.
I was literally just wondering that. I was like, is there a movie that we've watched that maybe hasn't liked me?
Found it.
That's the one. Why don't we, for the mathematically perverted, now the Colby count.
Okay. Okay, it's always important to explain that we count boobs individually. If there's one boob, then we count one boob, and if there's another scene with two boobs, then we have 3 boobs in the whole movie. This movie had 9 boobs in it.
What? A
Impressive
lot of
amount.
heathen bosoms.
Yeah.
Yeah.
They were always under some sort of sexy duress.
I feel like...
Yeah, apparently.
I think they picked them by their breast size for this movie.
I
Like,
feel
they
like-
auditioned just their boobs through like a box.
Yeah.
Monica Bellucci's boobs all count as 20.
Yeah,
She's
that's true.
Beautiful.
Yeah.
She's
She's a
like
cup.
the most beautiful woman
Like
I've ever seen.
her boobs are like 2 boobs put together, like in like each boob. So she has like a total like 4 boobs.
Yeah.
And then there were 8 bodies.
Not bad, not bad.
One of which was a baby, which is fucked up.
Allie wasn't a baby, yeah.
It's unfortunate.
Well, they were hungry.
You hate to see it happen, but
Yeah,
sometimes it has to happen.
All right, Kathleen, how about the terrifying trivia?
All right. It was actually Winona Ryder who brought the idea of redoing Bram Stoker's novel to...
Bram Stoker.
yeah, sorry. My
That's the
writing
official
is
porn
horrible.
parody. Bram Strokers. Dicula.
Anyway, she brought it to Francis Ford Coppola. They originally wanted Steve Buscemi to play Renfield, but he turned it down. But that would have been awesome.
He would have been a much different one.
He looks kind of crazy and googly as it is. So, also Johnny Depp turned down the role of Jonathan Harker. So this could have been a completely different
much better movie.
Yeah,
but
it
could have been worse because originally they wanted Drew Barrymore for the part of Mina. So it just been like a pouty.
Now I'm just curious here. Was this was after Winona and Johnny Depp broke up, so he might not have wanted to do it because he didn't want to be with her.
Yeah.
Because
could have been a fucking professional about it, Johnny.
No way.
Instead we got
professional about any of my exes.
the man. He's grown younger.
I hear it's difficult working with an ex-girlfriend. I'm just saying. I hear it's difficult. He might not have wanted the thing.
Well, they also wanted Juliette Lewis to play Lucy, which I don't see.
Really?
You know, the older she gets, the prettier she gets. So
it's the more she looks like she has Down syndrome.
No, I will defend her to the death. I love her.
Yeah.
All right, then another fun fact.
Cease and desist orders from Coppola and Juliette Lewis.
I like Juliette Lewis. I think she's great.
Mina and Harker's wedding was a reshoot done at the Los Angeles Greek Orthodox Church. They filmed the entire ceremony with a genuine Orthodox minister and realized afterwards that Winona and Keanu were really married.
It don't mean crap till you sign that paper.
That's a sitcom waiting to happen.
That would be a
beautiful children. All right. Then the last piece of knowledge. Gary Oldman hired a voice coach to help him lower his voice by an entire octave because he wanted to sound more sinister. But even still, most of the scary sounds that came from Dracula were not made by Oldman. Like at the beginning when I told you to remember that scream, that's because it was a scream from Lux Interior, who's the lead singer of the Cramps. A punk fan? Yeah, okay. And it was just dubbed in later, so I guess I'm the only one excited about that.
I need a...
Done.
Cool. I wanted to add another piece of trivia to that. It was the absinthe thing. And everybody thinks that it makes you hallucinate, but it doesn't. It's kind of this rumor that got started because it's usually 90 to 140 proof. So it gets you really drunk, and it's also really cheap, or it was back then. So all these starving artists, oh gosh, I'm trying to remember all the famous people that drank it. But a lot of famous people drank it.
Dolly.
Another fun fact about trivia. Another fun fact about absinthe.
Fun fact about trivia. It is fun facts.
Yeah, it is fun. The facts that are fun. No, fun fact about absinthe. Fucking disgusting.
Yeah, that's why you have to cut it with water or...
Derek's a resident drinker.
Yeah.
We're going to refer all alcohol questions to Derek.
But it was really cheap back then, so...
There you go. We've all drank our share of cheap alcohol.
Yes.
Except for me.
You would all know what Potter's
yeah.
It was their McCormick's.
It was adorable.
I only drink the finest of waters. Matt, keep talking because it's time for the special effects.
I did not sign off on that name.
Everybody else did though. Majority rules.
So the effects for this movie were awesome because this is it came out around the time of Terminator 2 and Jurassic Park when CGI was just getting really good enough to look awesome in the movies. But Francis Ford Coppola was just like, fuck that, I'm going to have my 29-year-old son do all the effects practically in camera. Right. And he did.
Was that Nicolas Cage? Oh.
No. That would be amazing if it was, but no.
Effects are always been his face. I'm a vampire.
He has been a vampire before. Well,
how many different wigs can he wear?
Yeah.
Gary Oldman had his own wig guy. Or lady. Oh, I saw in the credits.
Who did?
Gary Oldman did.
Oh.
Hairstylist and wigster.
Well, he had to have a lot of crazy hair.
Wigmaster.
Yeah.
Yeah, for most of the effects, it was a lot of forced perspective, so they'd build miniatures and then, kind of put it further back in the background and then just position the camera in such a way where it looked right.
I really liked the transitions where it would show the peacock feather and then it was the train tunnel.
Yeah.
Things like that.
And that's another great thing. That train...
Was the train scene a miniature?
Some of the train scenes were
because it kind of looked a little bit like a toy train.
Yeah, all the train scenes were miniature. But that one
the whole movie was actually a miniature. Just a bunch of action figures that moved around.
But yeah, you see Gary Oldman's eyes in the clouds as Keanu's in the train passing all the scenery. Like, that was done in camera. That was actually a projection of a projection on a projection.
It's like Inception.
Yeah.
No,
Yeah,
it's
they-
not. God damn it. It's not like Inception.
I was totally about to say it. I was just looking. I was like,
Do not provoke him.
It is not like Inception the concept, but it's like Inception the movie.
Yeah.
It's
Yeah,
like just
but it's-
Inception.
but, like,
the joke right here. I would say.
The
I'm
going
not saying
the
that
dream
they're
within a
incepting
dream.
me.
The dream within a dream thing, they'd done that before. That was no big deal. It was implanting the idea was the big deal in the movie.
Well, what's the other dream within a dream thing? What can we reference that would be
You don't need to
acceptable
reference
for
anything.
you?
I'm just saying.
You just have to
So-
say that.
So they put a projector on a projector?
It's it's so complicated.
Is it like
It's
that
a
movie
projection
Inception?
of a projection on a projection. So they filmed the scenery going by, and then they put that on a plate, on a projection plate, and then they projected Gary Oldman's eyes onto that plate. Yeah. It's hard to explain.
Because now they would just put it in see like.
Yeah, now you could
That's
just. I mean,
but it's
even then
cool to
they could have
think
done
about.
that
Yeah.
really simply. And then there was also one thing where like there's the diary being held, and you see like the train moving across it. That was in camera. They built a miniature train, and they made this huge prop diary that was like
That's
5
so
feet
cool.
wide. And yeah, and then like there was one scene where Dracula's looking at Winona, and you can see like the blood moving through her veins. That was done in camera. They just got a projector and projected that
Oh, that's
onto
it,
her.
really?
Hmm.
Wow.
Wow.
That was well done. When did Jurassic Park come out? What year?
93.
So after this.
1 year after, yeah.
Because
Oh,
you
no, it
remember
was in 95. So it's 6.
Okay,
95.
but this, do you remember when he said,
How do
they
you
spared
remember
no,
that stuff?
I spared no expense. So Jurassic Park stole that line from Dracula.
Or maybe they just had the same idea. That they thought, like,
Or
hey,
it
let's
was
not
like,
spare any
did they
expense.
Inception anything?
Yeah, did they?
They incepted
It was
that,
like
incepted that into.
It was like Inception because there was a word inside of a word.
Yeah.
I think every person who has a lot of money is fond of saying "spare no expense."
Yeah, true.
If I had a shitload of money, I'd say it all the time.
Yeah,
That's why we
I'd
never
say
Like, I
on
would have
paper.
an outrageous.
That's the money I would pay someone. to say
Jurassic
it
Park
for me.
was 93.
I
I
would
will have
say.
cheese on that. I
Yeah.
spared no expense.
I would say, get me tickets to Comic Con. Spare no expense.
Spend exactly how much they cost.
Okay, now for a new segment called the Nefarious News.
All right.
Oh, I should say what it is. We're going to give you a news story similar to the horror movie, only it really happened.
Loosely.
Well, in the same vein,
All right.
pun intended.
Our story this week comes to us from Arizona in 2010. Boy and his girl, Aaron Homer and his girlfriend Amanda Williamson, were arrested for stabbing their roommate Robert Malley, who had refused to let them suck his blood. Apparently,
What a
Ooh.
jerk.
I know. They were
So selfish.
they practiced vampirism and paganism, and he had let them do that in the past, but this time he's like, no, I'm not feeling it. I want to watch TV or something. So they stabbed him.
Busy.
He was too scared to call the cops because he had a warrant out for his arrest. So he ran out the door, running away from him. The fire department was next door on an unrelated call, so they saw this guy just covered in blood running out, so they went and helped him. They got arrested, and there's the thing. They only got, I think, parole?
Did this involve bath salts?
Maybe.
Stories
Were they around
usually do.
2010?
I read
No,
that.
they were mad because he was making fun of their religion. And the comments on this puppy was great. All the vampires from Facebook came out and commented on it. I wish I would have.
I've heard that that's the wrong thing to do when you've been stabbed. Like, if you have an
Is
artery
run?
cut, you don't run. You're supposed to relax so your blood pumps really slowly.
But
But
what
what
if
if
you're
they're
going to
still
be stabbed
attacking you?
again?
I'm saying if you got the option, don't.
So yeah, would you guys
Dr. Colby.
let us, take your blood?
If it were between you drinking my blood and stabbing me, yes.
He
If
apparently
you really
was,
needed it, but
Robert
Yeah.
Miller was apparently staying with him, so maybe that was like.
What he should
that
have
was part
done.
of rent.
This is what he should have done. He should have stuck like a can of V8 up his sleeve and like opened it and like, oh, I'm bleeding. Oh, drink it.
I hear that if you drink too much blood, you throw up.
Yeah.
So I would have given him like a whole like 2 pints or whatever, and then like
She'd have been all like, the guy's like, "Ha, I got you. Who's the loser now? You're throwing up."
I would have let him do it if they could keep it sexy.
They were not sexy. They were really creepy.
Oh,
They were who you always see on those shows that are vampires, and you're like,
Oh, I get you.
because the vampires now just feed off their energy.
That's
no,
right.
yeah.
Yeah, I saw True Life on MTV where they were feeding off the energy.
The stupid one's from Austin. And he's like, "This is tantamount to rape," or something. I'm like, oh god. And then those people were making fun of him as they're walking by, and he goes,
They were really offended because somebody got bid against their will on like this
Yes. Oh,
nightclub
he's like,
adventure. Like,
Like in Blade?
yes.
Let's do the critical critique, Colby.
Okay. Okay, so this is from Tom Hibbert of Empire Magazine. He gave it 2 stars out of 5, and his verdict is: has a film ever promised so much yet delivered so little? There was so much potential, yet when it came down to it, Coppola made his Dracula too old to be menacing, gave Keanu Reeves a part and took out all the action, so all we're left with is his overly long, bloated adaptation instead of what might have been a gothic masterpiece.
I thought Gary Oldman was scary as fuck in that movie. The makeup was good. I thought he. I mean, he
would be
was
scared that
The
like
the makeup was awesome.
what would scare me about Gary Oldman is that movies I I'd fall asleep and wake up with him trying to like stuff his dick out my mouth. He just seemed like a fucking rapist.
He's pretty crazy. Why were his nails so long? Both young
told
and
you.
Well, he's
There's a lot of
hundreds of
soap.
years old.
Why was
Yeah,
nobody
but
creeped
at least
about
he kept
it
it
too?
nice.
They
Yeah.
got all manicured like French manicure when he's all young one. I'm like, ugh.
I noticed about the old one, like when he was all old too, is like his joints were all swollen. Like, did he get gout? Like,
Yeah.
the vampires
Yeah.
get
Yeah.
gout.
Falling apart.
Well, and that's another interesting thing I thought of that didn't make any sense either too is like because in the book they didn't explain this in the movie. In the book, that the person driving the carriage was also Dracula. Like he went and picked him up. And then, like, he just, like, picked him up by his shoulder and set him in the thing. Wouldn't you just hop back out of the car and be like, nope.
Well,
Fuck outta here.
There's nothing wrong with John
He
Connor.
didn't pick him up. He just kind of held his arm out and pushed
No,
him.
he
by the shoulder.
floated up.
Oh, I thought he like.
You gotta watch it again.
No.
He floated up.
No.
That's a Meet Your
I've
Monsters
seen this
majority
movie
again.
1,000
I'm
fucking
sorry.
times. He just does
You
one of
can
these
push eyes
numbers
and-
and pulls him in. He didn't pick him up and stick him in there.
But he-
he
you
just
don't see
stretched
him-
out and like pulled
You
him
don't see him
You
step.
don't see
see him
him
like
walking,
elevate
though.
on
He goes
a-
straight up.
Well,
and
because
straight
yeah,
over.
he just looks like he's just going right across.
He doesn't come
But
off
he
the
also
ground.
falls sideways down a wall, so.
He just kind of goes like he scoops him.
Maybe we should table this.
And he's
Then
also
we can watch it again later. We'll put
he
the
also
sub on.
looks like that guy from Silent Hill. He's got like armor and like a pointed head and shit. Like, who would you get on that fucking carriage? I'd be like, oh, you're a Dracula? I'll
This
get
is
my
like he's
own
gonna
ride.
further his career.
But
I'm
what's
gonna walk.
what's the alternative?
Ooh.
He's in the middle
Walk.
of nowhere.
I'd
with
be like,
the,
just,
with all the wolves,
just follow that
though.
road. I'd rather have the wolves than that fucking thing.
Yeah, because the wolf's mouth are only that big. You could probably take him. Right?
Yeah, and they're not gonna try to finger me when I fall asleep in the carriage.
Won't they? They're heading right for your butt. Bite it first.
So, are we supposed to be
that
talking
critics
about
of
how
it.
this critic's a dick or something?
Yeah, fuck that guy.
I disagree. It was a little bloated, but I think
yeah.
it was a very fun movie.
I think that they accomplished a lot in that movie.
They
Yeah.
got,
There was
there's a
bunch of
lot they
stuff
had to
going
get
on.
through. Like, and
Yeah.
it did seem a little rushed, but if they covered the whole thing to what we liked, it'd have to be like a miniseries.
And they had to make some changes. God, it's a book that everyone's read a million fucking times.
Except
you know,
for me.
except for Matt.
And Meg. Only halfway.
Okay, it's a book that a lot of folks have read.
that they're familiar with.
People that can read
Yeah.
good.
So, fuck that guy. And you too, Colby. How dare you?
It was bound to happen.
I actually like when I mean obviously I don't like when people don't like the things that I like, but I think it makes for good discussion. I like to hear why people wouldn't necessarily agree that Dracula is an awesome movie, because you know it might not be. I like it, but
I think it looked amazing, but
yeah.
it's just so long.
And those crazy ass clothes, those costumes were so bizarre.
Yeah,
I
they're
really
loved
cool,
them though.
Oh,
It
and
all
the
was
armor.
visually very appealing.
yeah.
Yeah.
When
It was.
when Lucy was alive in that dress, I was like, "What the fuck is
The weird
that?"
clown
But then when
bunny
she was
dress?
dead, I was like, "Damn, that
And
looks
she's
cool."
all pale and bloody mouth.
Because it's like this big, I don't know what frilly thing it is. Oh,
It's like the
cool.
cone, isn't it?
Clown collar.
Who said so she couldn't look
Yes.
herself anymore?
Scratch. And like, talk about that's such a huge change from his other stuff too. Because look at The Godfather and stuff. It's not that stylistic.
There was not even one vampire in that. Too.
No. As a
Could have
matter,
been
Zero
improved.
vampires.
Way more.
as a matter of
Godfather.
fact, everybody kept asking. They thought there was some connection with the oranges. There was always like an orange in every scene. In
Where somebody died.
Godfather. No, well, maybe, yeah. And they thought there was some connection, and the cinematographer said, no, there's just a little color in the scenes. We had to put those so there'd be like color besides black and white in all the scenes.
Mm.
They had orange, like fuck it.
Yeah. And a banana.
And strawberries.
Craft services. And that.
Matt, why don't you hit us with the themes and tropes?
Right. One of the biggest tropes, and we've actually talked about this before, is ancestral doppelgangers. This is where you'll see in movies where someone's grandpa looks exactly like
Oh my
their grandson, even though that never happens.
That's the
ever.
point I was trying
It
to make.
doesn't-
Like,
yeah,
that
right.
sounds
The
like.
genes are genes that strong.
They
Like,
just skip a generation.
yeah.
They have like a picture of Jay-Z from Slave Time.
I see that too.
Have you seen the
Nicolas
one with
Cage.
piano?
And yeah, Keanu Reeves, Nicolas Cage, they're finding lots of them.
Yeah.
And
Baldwin.
Leonardo DiCaprio used to be a woman, apparently.
Wait, what are
In,
you
like,
guys
the
talking about?
1900s.
These are just pictures of
Yeah,
their
There's
like,
old timey
people-
photos
Yeah, I'm like next to celebrities, and they look exactly alike.
leading some to believe that they are vampires.
Yeah.
Which I could believe for Keanu. That guy hasn't aged a day
Holy
in
cow,
20
right?
years.
Except for that movie, he had that weird '90s gray haircut.
I think it's
Oh,
all
His hair
yeah.
was horrible.
it's all the good karma he got from giving his money away.
That's
He has
true.
money away?
Yeah, he
Yeah.
gave
Keanu Reeves is an amazing human being.
He's-
all
been
his
through a
Matrix
lot.
money he gave to the special effects people.
And
Isn't that
bought them all
awesome?
motorcycles.
way.
And like most of his money he makes like just in general, like his sister has some kind
Leukemia.
of leukemia, yeah, and he like spends
Oh my
most of his
God.
money.
On
He
the
donates a lot of his
So
money
he
to
can
like
be a
leukemia
bad
research.
accent actor like once.
Yeah, he
Yeah.
can do whatever.
Yeah, he made the special effects people for the Matrix. He made them all millionaires.
That's awesome.
As they should be.
Yeah.
Yeah, true.
Fuck, they did the bulk of that movie. And it was a brand new thing.
Yeah.
Have you ever seen any of the sad Keanu memes?
Yeah.
Where he's sitting on the bench, just
They actually
Eating a
asked him
sandwich.
about that, and he gave a really sad answer.
like, ooh.
Yeah,
I don't
he
want.
said
I don't want
that-
to know the background.
Yeah, I don't want to.
He
I
said
just
that,
wanna,
like he said, like you have to be happy to live, and he doesn't want to live, or something like that.
Oh.
Yeah.
God damn.
Yeah.
Take me. What did
Uh,
she say to Dragon? Take me away from all this death. That was his line.
What else you got?
Well, this is. I'll go back to the diary thing. I know that you liked the diary motif because that's kind of how it was in the book. But I think they use this a lot in movies. I don't like it because it's a cheap way to
agree.
get through a lot of exposition.
Yeah.
And the thing was with this movie is that they didn't do that. They just told us how the characters were feeling, and I was like, that's a waste of screen time and exposition because you should just show us how they're feeling.
You don't think you can ever, Keanu Reeves can ever show how he's feeling?
Well, that's true.
He just looks bewildered all the time.
He's got a scared look.
Yeah.
And I think he's got a happy look. That's it. Those are his two modes: scared and happy.
Doesn't he
Confused and
clearly have a
bewildered.
sad look?
Oh, that's true. Yeah, more disappointed. He looked in that picture. He looks disappointed.
And for themes, they actually brought this up in the movie too, where they compare vampirism to STDs, which would make a lot of sense. Vampires are always portrayed in this way. They're very promiscuous and creatures of the night and fucking everybody.
That reminds me of something that I wanted to ask you guys about. Now, when I saw this movie, I was still a very religious guy, and then now, obviously, I'm not. But I always prefer the vampire myth based in some sort of religion because I find it much scarier than if it's just like a vampire who got some sort of weird disease. What do you guys prefer? Do you like the
Magic.
magical vampire or the sickness
I'm
vampire?
all magic.
Nah,
Oh
like
yeah,
the-
magic for sure.
Same with zombies. I
Because
prefer
I'm
magic
sorry, there's
zombies.
nothing
Yeah.
scarier than being like, I forsake God. You're like, oh my gosh, like, oh, you're going to hell. Oh my
And
gosh,
not like
like
if-
that's the worst thing you can do, and he did it, and it was scary. Because then you just live your life for evil.
Like when he stabbed that cross and all the blood starts coming out, you're like, oh, he's
Oh,
fucked.
you did it now.
But
Yeah, and I read a really interesting theory about like even if you don't believe in God, you always believe there's a God in movies because you always expect good things to happen to good people
Yeah, it was just
and bad things to happen to
Yeah.
bad
Yeah,
people.
sort of the Cracked
Yeah.
podcast. Is that what you heard from too?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, because like everybody's
Well,
life
should
is
you
their
work
own
on paid
narrative.
royalties if you guys keep going?
I'll beep it out.
No, I want to hear it. Tell me.
Yeah, go for it.
Yeah, so they were talking about like basically how everybody, you know, like you believe you're the main character of your own life, and like in general in movies and everything, like, and so everybody has this belief that good things happen to good people and bad things happen to bad people, which is essentially religion.
Yeah.
So like, you know, and that there is some kind of cosmic force, like, so like it's basically impossible not to believe in some like that, whether you think you do or not, you do.
Yeah, for movies anyway. And they brought up like a really hilarious example. They were talking about True Lies and how
Yeah.
in that movie, what's that actress's name? I forget.
Jamie Lee Curtis?
Jamie Lee Curtis. Like when she drops the gun and it fires and it kills all the bad guys. We're like, it's funny, and we totally, you know, take that in without thinking about it. But if she had dropped the gun and it shot every good guy, we would have been like, oh no, no.
That's not the way it's supposed to happen.
But think about this too. Had she taken the gun and used it properly and shot people herself, that would have changed her character.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And that's a
Should've
character
been
that they
him.
wanted
Yeah.
to preserve.
One
She
more.
did her own helicopter stunt in that movie because it was her birthday.
Whoa.
Yeah.
What an awesome birthday present.
She was like, I want to do something crazy for my birthday. Did the helicopter stunt.
And I think another theme that was alluded to was Romeo and Juliet, the tragic love, where, you know, one person loses the other and they instantly kill themselves. And I found an article talking about that as well that was a really interesting take. And it was William Shakespeare actually wrote that as a satire of teenagers and how they're all moody
Yeah,
I can
they're all
totally see
emo.
that.
Yeah.
Totally see that.
That's why I think like these kids like on Facebook was like, we're like Romeo and Juliet. I was like, they were fucking idiots.
They
Like,
were
They were
so
like 15.
emo.
Yeah, I know.
Yeah, when I think back to high school relationships, they always felt so important, and then it's just like
Because
it's
they were your
fucking
first
stupid.
ones, you know,
Yeah.
and you look back
Yeah.
at
Those are your practice runs
Yeah.
where you
yeah,
really work out the kinks.
No kidding. Ugh.
And that's all for me.
And now for the pieces and parts. Who's got a favorite scene they want to talk about?
Mine's not really a scene. It's just something I liked throughout the whole movie. I like how the shadows moved independently from Dracula. Just looked cool.
I just thought of something. Wasn't somebody gonna mention about the old priest guy being Anthony Hopkins?
Oh, that
Yeah,
goes
yeah,
back
so
to
I think that was like the generation thing,
Yeah.
like that
Oh.
he's like, I think that's what they were alluding to in that, is like, is they were
I
like kind
just
of
figured
saying
they're
like,
fucking
Yeah, that's what I was
lazy.
going to
They
ask
probably-
you. Abe, is Van Helsing descended from that priest then?
I don't believe there was ever any sort of reference to it.
I think they just got lazy and they're like, Anthony,
Well,
just put on the fucking prosthetics. You'll be the
It was like, well, Gary Oldman's going to go on, or Dracula's going to go on. Winona Ryder obviously is going to come back and be the reincarnation of Elizabeta.
Was it her, or was it somebody who looked really, really
It was her.
well
That's
like
where I
her?
was
It
wondering.
was her.
Because I didn't get a good...
She's got both credits in the movie.
Oh, okay. Because
Yeah,
I
so it
didn't
was
know
her.
it looked exactly like her. Good for her.
Yeah. And then I think that they put Anthony Hopkins in there to have that that parallel. He comes back and does what the priest of him should have done. I don't know.
Well, isn't Van Helsing a priest too in the book? Of
No.
some
No,
sort?
he
Really?
was a scholar. Yeah.
super
Okay.
nice guy in the book too.
Yeah.
He's always really sweet to Mina and Lucy.
He doesn't grab her.
Never
He,
tried to bang
he
him.
calls everybody friend, like call him friend John and
Hey,
friend
buddy.
Jack and
No.
friend
He
Quincy.
even speaks nicely about Dracula.
Yeah.
Yeah.
What a nice man.
Okay, who else has got a scene they want to talk about? They like.
I like the shaving scene where he takes the razor from Keanu and licks it all grossly.
I mean, yeah, it was like strawberry jam.
They
was-
did
it
use
was real
jelly
good.
for all the blood in there.
Did they really?
Nice.
Jelly.
I did the same thing.
That was
I
just
love
creepy.
jam.
And because like you cut yourself and put it in your mouth before,
I never have. That
like my
shit disgusts
finger
me.
and I just tasted like it on metal. Like,
Pennies.
gross. Yeah.
Once I was watching Dances with Wolves, and there's a scene where he eats this buffalo liver, like raw. They pull it out and they eat it. And so I wanted to try that, and my mom gave me some
So you killed the
chicken liver.
How old were you, Abe?
It was the last buffalo.
whenever Dances with Wolves came out, so
Oh,
a
yeah.
young kid. But I remember eating this chicken liver.
Was it raw?
Yeah, and it was fucking disgusting. because it tasted like bloody
Imagine.
bubble gum.
Ooh.
Because it's real chewy, you know. But what occurred to me later was that it was out of the fridge, so it was cold as hell. As to where, like, out of a
True.
I was gonna say,
buffalo
'cause
would be nice and
our
warm.
You
mom-
want the liver. You want liver to be fresh.
Right.
Right out of the animal.
Derek and I's mom, she likes chicken livers, like fried from the thing. I did try to make it. I was like, that's fucking good.
Yeah, I like
I
that.
liked it.
But raw, it tastes just like bloody
Did
bubble
she
gum.
buy that specifically because you wanted?
No, we just had some.
Oh,
I was like,
okay.
I want to try
wow,
that. And
your
she's like,
mom is
Yeah.
I think we got some chicken liver. You want to give it a shot? And I'm like, oh, wow.
Oh.
And I was like,
I
weird.
regret it all.
I made a huge mistake.
Yeah, my favorite part was the beginning, just because that fucking set of armor that looked
Oh, that's
amazing.
right.
Yeah.
Helmet.
And it was
all the
nice to see
sinewy
finally an
muscles.
explanation of like what Dracula, why he is the way he is, you know.
Mhm.
And it's
I-
nice that he was like kind of the hero to begin with, and then he became the villain when his life went to shit.
Did he kill those people after?
No, he
He
did it
percent-
during, and then he like
Because
kept
he was
on
like,
working.
Well-
was he eating him or was that a rumor that he was like eating him
like
and stuff?
skinning
Like
him
in
and
the
shit.
movie.
In
So then he
the-
really was a shitty person from the beginning.
But he did.
I
I
thought
mean,
he
he
was
did
like
the
the
name of
church.
Jesus.
I thought he was
Yeah.
like the war hero in the beginning. That's the
Yeah.
impression. I
Well,
got.
but he was like he was doing the impaling people and stuff.
Yeah,
It was a different
It's war,
time.
damn it.
Yeah, I guess
Yeah.
that was cool back
that
then.
was commonplace.
Well, yeah, that's my
Some people
favorite scene
aspire
too.
just
Is
to
the
be
armor.
impaled.
That's the one thing I remember from the whole like. I remember from like the first time I saw it when I was a child too. Is how awesome that armor is.
Yeah.
It really was badass. Now, in the actual Dracula, I believe the impaling was a battle tactic. There was a documentary I watched about him a long time ago, and there was this. He had people impaled all over his castle, and what they would do is he would stick the spear up their ass and out their side, and it would miss all the major vital organs, and they would hang there until they died of thirst, and it was really excruciating, painful, and what he would do is he would place them all over the place, and when armies would come, they would get scared and run away. And
Makes sense.
there was one
I would.
real famous quote from the guy. Well, not
Ram
famous,
that
I guess.
spear up my ass.
Yeah.
Fucking ain't
Well,
worth it.
But this one army was approaching the castle, according to this documentary. I forget what it was called. And the leader of the army said, "Whoever has done this can only be dealt with by God," and they fucking took off. So
Oh.
I mean, that's true. That's gotta be what I would think too. Like
Yeah.
Jesus
It kind of
Christ.
sounds like they were lazy, but okay.
they're just like, "Wait, he did what now?" Yeah, let's get out of here. So it was.
I would have like jumped up like I was gonna say something. I'm like, you know, fuck it, guys, just go, just go, just go.
But they have those old woodcut images of him at supper with body parts.
Yeah.
And so, suppose the legend is that he really did kill and eat people and impale them all over the place.
I also heard that he ate his own jizz. I don't know if that's true.
Oh,
Where'd you hear
my.
that?
I can't remember
On the
now.
streets.
I try to do that with bugs, and it doesn't work.
Eat their
Drink that
jizz.
jizz.
No. I wasn't really listening. No, line up with their dead bodies. To,
So the other
murder
bugs
them.
are scared
They
of them.
don't care. They take them and eat them.
That's what I always think
Like
too with
crickets or
ants.
something?
Well, like because ants like always go on the stream. Like
Yeah.
I always think like, all right, like I see a pile of ants like in my house. Like I'm gonna kill these ones, and then like I'm gonna hope the other ones will see
Right?
it. But
Like,
no,
look
they
at
don't
what
care.
happened.
They like eat them or
Like
something.
we had a mouse, and then we caught him. Like I should just leave it here. Let his little mouse buddies see him, like rats and nimby style. Stay out of my house.
I was feeding my tarantula yesterday, and I throw some crickets in there, and she snatches up two of them, and she's eating one and holding on to the other, and it kind of wiggled away. So she grabbed it, and she bit him, and then dropped him. And so he had like completely, you could see like little guts coming out where he'd been stabbed.
Oh.
And what does he do? He walks over to another cricket, all limping like, because he's just been bit by a giant fucking monster. And he just like stands on his back. I'm like, what's he doing? I'm like, I don't know. They really just have no brain. They're just he's just like, oh, that sucked, and then they walk around.
Yeah, there was this one radio lab where they're talking about that, where this bug had been injured and then it started eating its own guts, and they said it did that just because it's like protein and nutrients.
Just keeps coming
They
out.
really don't even have a sense of self. They're just
Yeah.
like, oh, this is coming out of me, so I'm gonna eat it.
It's like automation.
This
They
is
just go.
food.
Yeah.
I'm gonna eat it.
It was strange. Who else has got a scene that they want to talk about? My favorite scene was when they killed Lucy the second time.
Oh, that was pretty great.
Yeah, because it was just so pretty, and there was a weird crying kid and the candles, and she was white completely, and her dress was white but blood smeared. I
Was she,
fucking love that shit.
when they're gonna go, why do you want to go look in her grave? He's like, I want to cut her head off and burn her body.
Yeah.
And they're like, oh, come on!
Come on, guys.
Again, in the book, he was super timid about it and like really sad that he had to do
like,
it.
Don't tell her fiance.
And it was really rude the way he told Mina that stuff.
Yeah.
Because
It's like, hey,
her best
bitch,
friend.
come over here with your titties.
Oh,
I had to cut your friend's head off. Or get your titties out of here.
oh yeah, he's all eaten.
Okay, who has got a good quote?
I'll do
That was
mine.
actually.
Oh, sorry. Just because we just now talked about it, my quote was like Nina asks Van Helsing if he killed Lucy, and he's like, I cut off her head and I drove a stake through her heart.
That was my quote too. That's why I was gonna bring it up just then because that's just like how casually he says it, and like there's like, what guys?
Don't be a bitch.
What?
Pass a steak.
Okay.
But just because it's Anthony Hopkins though, I mean like how he says it is so great.
You
I
think of
like-
it?
Good job, Kathleen.
I liked
Shook
it
my
was
head
more
so
his
you didn't have to call me
delivery
out, big dick.
at the beginning when Jonathan Harker gets there and Dracula's like, I never drink wine. Or what does that say? They say you are a man of good taste.
He's had hundreds of years to come up with
He's
these
been
awesome
waiting
puns.
forever. And then where he gets ridiculous is when the wolves are howling, he's like, I want to leave. And he's like, children of the night, what sweet music they make.
One wolf.
Exactly. The two wolves. His delivery.
He's like that grandpa that doesn't have any funny jokes. But he still
And what does he say to Jonathan Harker when he arrives at his house? You got it memorized, don't you?
For the most part.
What does he say?
Oh.
Which part?
When he like first arrives there and he says like,
About happiness.
Enter
Yeah.
freely of your own will and leave behind some of the happiness that you bring.
yeah.
And by that I mean blood.
I love too how he tries to, when he is trying to cross the threshold, his foot, he has to kind of force it, like I don't want to go.
Yeah.
Something like that.
No.
My favorite was later when he's eating and he's trying to explain his ancestry and he says, "What devil or witch was ever so great as Attila whose blood flows in these veins?"
And these veins.
I like that. Because he's a descendant of Attila the Hun, so he's essentially saying I'm a bad motherfucker. What you got?
I mean,
bitch?
but like,
What you
isn't everybody? So like,
Pretty
we're
much.
all- We're all bad
Was it
motherfuckers,
Attila? I can't
really.
remember if it's Attila the one that's like, everybody's like a descendant.
Yeah.
of.
Yeah.
Is that the one Mulan fought?
Yeah, it's just like the ones.
Has anybody got any last word? That is the end of Meet Your Monsters for this week. Thanks everybody for hanging out and watching Dracula. Curse you,
Ooh.
Colby. And
I wouldn't
thanks.
say it if it didn't suck.
It was a great movie.
Shots fired.
Yeah. We're gonna do a critical critique for Colby next time. Thanks to you at home for listening. If you want to follow along, next week's movie will be Critters.
All right.
Oh, I've never seen Critter. Is that the one that Raphael goes to see in Ninja Turtles?
Yeah.
He's like, where do they come up with this stuff?
Yeah, it was Critters.
Yeah.
So good.
That's all I got. Thanks everybody.
Bye.
Bye.
Uh,
What are you?